HDB resale price have already stabilized and softened, we may continue to see more million-dollar transactions. So currently, GLS land bids has been breaking records. The interest in recycling old development by reviving en bloc sales is an alternative land source. Agents must complete a minimum of 3 recognized property transactions. With this policy change, it will certainly drive demand back up. Hi guys, welcome to ERA Monthly Directions. The next move, where are the opportunities now? So today's session touches on 3 parts. Firstly, new housing rules. Then the en bloc market and rising professional standards. You know, policy changes create openings, but only if you know how to act on them. Now, government has announced several important changes, and they introduced these measures definitely for a reason. They want to keep the market stable, making sure that homes remain accessible and reduce speculations. For us at ERA, we believe that whenever there is a new rule, we must understand it thoroughly so that we can navigate our property journey with clarity and confidence. Now, these are the 2 policies. First, removal of the 15 months wait-out period for private property owners. Second, extended ABSD sales timeline for developers on large-scale en bloc sites. Both point the same direction. Government is fine-tuning. They are not tightening. They just want the market to be sustainable over a long period of time. So, let's talk about the removal of 15 months wait-out period. The headlines has currently changed. It's no longer introduced 15 months wait-out period. It's removal of the 15 months wait-out period. And this applies to eligible private property owner who wants to right-size to HDB resale flat. When will it take place? It is effective immediately for non-subsidized HDB resale flat purchase. The removal of the 15 months actually provides supports for HDB resale prices. So let me explain. HDB resale price index peaked around Q3 2025 at 203.7 and has eased to 202.8 in second quarter 2026 this year. It means that there were 2 consecutive quarters of HDB resale price index decline. The first back-to-back fall in years. Now, the index has run up from 146.4 in second quarter 2021. And right now, I believe these are consolidation phases after a long run-up. And I don't think this is a major issue, and it's not a correction. So how does this policy change mean for right sizes, the resale buyers, and the wider market? It gives private property owners more flexibility if they want to sell their private properties and buy a HDB resale flat. This will also help some right-sized purchasers, especially those who have been waiting to make that move. They may now have more choices when planning their next home. This also facilitates en bloc sales. So let me give you some background info of this 15-month wait-out period. It was introduced about 4 years ago in September 2022 as a temporary cooling measure. The aim is to deter cash-rich private owners from out-competing first-timer in the resale market. So resale applications have been staying at 6,000 to 8,000 transactions per quarter band throughout. So with prices currently flat and demand stable, the measure has done its job. This is recalibration, not meant to cool the market. So a summary of before and after. Before 15-month wait-out period, private property owners have to wait 15 months before purchasing a new subsidized HDB flats. After, there's no more waiting time. Eligible owner can purchase non-subsidized HDB resale flats at any time after selling their private property. Now, who benefits? Of course, the private property owners looking to right size, homeowners who want flexibility and speed to their next home, And of course, retirees, non-parents whose children have already moved out, looking to unlock housing equity for retirement. And let us do more checks on the numbers and statistics. So from 30 September 2022, when the 30 months wait-out periods was introduced, all the way to 31st March 2025, do you know there are 5,500 appeals in this last 2.5 years or 30 months. Only 25% or 1,375 of these appeals for the right sizers to move from private property to HDB resale flat, avoiding the 50 months wait-out periods. Only these 25% or almost 1,004 were successful. So that averaged to be about 183 appeals a month. So compare this with the overall 2001 to 2006 HDB transactions per month. It makes up about 7 to 9% of the overall transaction volume. And this is quite substantial, not taking into considerations of those who wants to right size and did not appeal. These numbers could be even more substantial. So what is the cause, effects, and impact to the HDB resale market and the market in general? You know there is pent-up demands from right sizer. So with this new removal of 15 months period, it will unlock this pent-up demand. And that means lifting demands for resale flats, especially well-located newer stocks of HDB resale flats. So more flats across the $1 million marks will also be seen in the horizon. And those $1 million flat sellers, they become the next wave of property upgraders. So it's a loop, not a one-off event. The future is about demand. Supply is broad. Many towns, plenty of choices for buyers. So the difference is no longer supply at the moment. It is where demand concentrates. Locations, remaining lease, and connectivity all separate the winners from the rest. So $1 million flats buyer tend to be upgraders, right sizer now with the removal of 15 months wait out period. So why $1 million flats matters? Because they create tomorrow condo buyers. So these $1 million flats transactions, they still represent a small part of the overall HDB resale market. Well, it tends also to involve flats with very specific attributes such as central location, larger sizes, newer flats on the high floor, and long remaining lease. Of course, strong connectivity nearest to schools and amenities. We may continue to see more $1 million transactions as overall resale prices rise, but they remain the exceptions rather than norm. I think right sizers will target well-located newer flats, such as Queenstown at the prime central locations. The floor flats now is going above $1 million. Next is Toa Payoh, which is a matured central location. The floor room flat is also above $1 million. They will also be targeting on Bukit Merah at medium price of about $944,000, currently with about $64 million flats deals. This is near the 4-room flat Pulau Belanga MRT stations. Then in Bishan, a 5-room flat is at a medium price of $978,000, with the 4-room flat catchments and limited MOP supplies will definitely keep this price firm. How about locations in Punggol and Tampines? So the right size purchaser may also target at Punggol and Tampines. The 5-room flats at Punggol is at $790,000 and the 5-room flats at Tampines is about $828,000. So with Punggol Digital Districts and also Bayshore nearby, certainly it makes this district attractive to the right size purchaser. So why right sizer buyers should consider acting now? Firstly, for HDB resale flats, its immediate move in is unlike, booking BTO flats, you have to wait for 3 to 5 years. And there's no need for balloting. Just go for viewings, you like the property, make your offer, and you will get to purchase the HDB resale flats from the HDB resale owner. Currently, there is 13,480 MOP flats entering the market in 2026. From our last briefings, HDB resale price have already stabilized and softened, and over 2 consecutive quarters of decline in the resale index certainly makes HDB resale prices pretty attractive. One thing I want to say is that this may be a temporary window period, because with this policy change, it will certainly drive demand back up, and you may see more active transactions in the HDB resale market. That may also means moving up the HDB resale prices up in the near future. So take action now, rather than buying at a higher price in the future. Okay, next policy change is about the ABSD changes and en bloc landscape for developer. So why changes to ABSD for developer? I think it's because recently all the GLS land bids is very active and aggressive in terms of prices. So currently, GLS land bids has been breaking records. So CCR land cost has up 42% since 2021. And RCR has up 57% since 2021. And OCR is up 24% at the same period of time. You know, every aggressive land bids feeds directly into future higher new launch prices. That's why over the last 5 years, we have been seeing higher and higher per square foot prices for new launches. So if the government continue to release more land site, I think this may not be sustainable. That's why the new rules on en bloc sales that helps to release some pressure on continuing releasing more GLS site. As you know, if the supply has to come from government land sales, this may mean sacrificing more green space, schools, sport facilities, golf courses, as we have witnessed in the past few years. Hence, the interest in recycling old development by reviving en bloc sales is an alternative land source, which also supports the urban renewal and estate rejuvenization. Next, let me share with you what are the total collective sales transacted by years. So some background of en bloc sales. 2017 to 2018 was the boom year, with 28 to 38 deals worth 8.7 billion to 10.8 billion. Then July 2018, ABSD hikes on developments kick in and have softened the appetite of developer on en bloc sales site overnight. Volume actually fall to 6 deals only in 2019. Well, then came COVID-19. Only 4 en bloc deals in 2020. And in 2021 to 2022, we saw a modest recovery. Then in 2023 to 2025, the en bloc transactions stay subdued due to possibly high construction costs, financing costs, and of course, more GLS supply during this period. So 2026 to date, there is 2.34 billions of collective sales transaction amount. They are, example, Tan Boon Liat buildings that is transacted at 950 million, Loyang Villas transacted at 880 million, Kawaram House that's transacted at 120 million, and Centrepoint Mall, a mix of retail and residential units, transacted at about 391 million. Now, my key observation is this: developers are very selective, but they will pay up for the right site, of course, at the right price. Next, why collective sales remains important to Landscare Singapore. Singapore has been expanding outwards, like land reclamation and building upwards, that is building tall towers. Redevelopment of existing land is another big option, as there are many old properties that are underdeveloped based on their allowable new prop ratio. So some examples of increasing supply to the market via en bloc sales in the past are like Farrer Court, which had 618 units and became the leader at 1,715 units. And also Pearl Bank, which used to have 288 units only, now became one Pearl Bank at 774 units. So you see how en bloc sales actually increase on the supply of more private property condo units into the market. So to the developer, with the new rulings, there are more runways, less clawback pressure, and also greater appetites for larger en bloc sites. Of course, accessibility to freehold 999-year leasehold land site, which you cannot get from government land sales. Next, for en bloc seller, if you are a seller of an en bloc development, there will be a lump sum payout for replacement homes. And with the weight out gone, you can right size into a new resale flat straight away. How about the new buyers of the new project coming out from the en bloc sites? These new launches are situated in matured, well-connected estates. Therefore, with more lease available and even more freehold options. Lastly, I want to talk about the new CA policies. Whether a right size purchaser or an en bloc sellers, whether they can get good results. Seriously, it depends on the advice they receive from the real estate salesperson. That is where the third set of policy changes comes in on housing agents. So the key details of the new CA policies is that 3-year cycle. Property agents registration and agency licenses will shift from 1 year to 3-year validity cycle, running from 2027 to 2029 for the first common period. So these 3 deals in 3-year rules means that agents must complete a minimum of 3 recognized property transactions across the 3 years to prove active market practice. Otherwise, a refresher examination is the alternative. Agents who fall short of the 3 transactions threshold will still renew their registration by passing a practice-focused refresher examinations. There will also be a need on continuing training, and this new active standard supplements existing annual professional development training hours. So with CA coming out with these new policies, what will be the effect to real estate market? I think firstly, it will raise overall professional standard, and there will be fewer agents as inactive agents or part-time agents who are not doing any transactions may not be able to renew their license unless they take up examinations that will continue their licensing. Next is also for agents, there will be more training and effort to stay updated on policies and market changes. And for agencies, the field force will be making up of more active agents rather than inactive and part-time agents. And all these, what it means to the client is that the market will earn greater trust from consumer, better housing journey experience, and advice from agents who transact regularly. So the net effects is overall, the professional standards in the industry will certainly be raised. So in summary, these are the key points. Right sizer, you can act now because there's no more 15 months wait out period. Congratulations. However, let's put it this way, there are also a lot of other right size purchasers just like you. So don't wait. This is probably the best time when price have already softened. Secondly, land is scarce in Singapore. Currently, government land sales is like the way to go for most developers to look for sites for redevelopment of new condos. So moving forward with the new en bloc sales policies, this will certainly provide alternative supply source for developer to build new condos. Hopefully, this will not mean that future scarce launch price will be higher and higher with more supply of land source from en bloc sales. The third one is regulatory tightening. It will shape the agents' landscape. With more active agents in the market and less inactive agent, it will mean more positive property journey for the consumer out there. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your attention in this monthly directions. I see you again in the next one.